So that is what we are talking about today. I am going to give some nuggets on personal strategy, and this is what we're going to talk about today. So, personal strategy, personal strategy, personal strategy. We all need one, and we're going to go over the importance of having a personal strategy. All this is a journey. All of this is important. And we're going to highlight some ways to really jump into how important it is and how we can start really inputting, executing, valuing personal strategy. So let's start off with just maybe what is a personal strategy, right? Because I believe sometimes we get up, we start our day, and we begin to do things without having a strategy for our lives. Sometimes we have plans and we're in those full throttle, but then there may be a distraction or something that comes and it kind of stops us in the process. And from there, we have to be in a position to where we know how to pivot. Okay. So personal strategy, personal strategy, personal strategy. Personal strategy brings fulfillment. And I think this whole process that I'm talking about today is about fulfillment, right? At the end of the day, because I know and I have been in a position where I was successful per se. However, I wasn't fulfilled. Like inwardly, I was like, okay, there's more. Like there's something else. So I think that's another reason why personal strategy is important, because we can bring together our success, our gifts, our talents, our longings, our purpose in life, and get a balance in all of it so that we can see fulfillment in the midst of it. So, one of the things I'm going to highlight today is what a personal strategy is, and also why it is important to have one, why it's important to get to work now. A lot of times we get into motion of things, and then we have to look and see, okay, what's my next step? What's next? Or if something is next, how do I navigate this next? What happens when I'm in a challenge or a pickle or a distraction or a legit thing in life that I didn't prepare for? Strategy is what helps us throughout that process. And it starts with cultivating our strengths. I am an advocate for talking about strengths. Okay? When I tell you that it is important to know your strengths and sit in that thing, I mean, sit in them, operate from them, enjoy them, nurture them, feed them, grow in them. And I'm going to get out. I have my strengths. Let me grab it so that I can share just the perspective that I'm talking about when I talk about strengths. Because the more we operate in our strengths, the more successful and fulfilled that we are, because we're operating from the inside out. So, for those who have not yet heard of this, but it's called Clifton Strengths. It's an assessment, and it tells you, what your strengths are and how to operate in them, what your blind spots are, and so on and so forth. I am going to share my top one, which is strategic. Now, with strategic, it talks about how I, as a person, I'm able to find the best option when I'm doing something. I know how to navigate things that are challenging and put things together to where I can find the best solution. And not only find the best solution, but act on that solution, right? And so the cool thing about this and personal strategy is, the reason why I want to emphasize personal strategy is because it goes from the inside out. if I have a personal strategy and if I know what my strengths are, I can get things accomplished. Now, on the other hand, it's important to know what you are not strong in, not to do well there, but to be in a place where you can delegate those things. So say for instance, I hear a lot of people talk about, I'm not organized, right? I just don't have it. I get challenged with being organized, this, that, and the other. Guess what? If your strength is something other than organizing, you couple with an organizer, someone who can come in and organize things around you so that you can maintain your strength. Another example, I tell people to recognize if you're a starter or a finisher. Like if you are a starter, you get things done, started quickly, you can plan, get it going. I'm one of those people. I will start something and we gone. We gone to the end, and you know what I mean? And I can help people start and jumpstart their lives. One thing I found is I need an anchor, a finisher. So I get the joy and the excitement of getting things started, and which I'm good for people who are finishers. Though they can finish something, for the life of them, they can't get it started. So I know what my strength is, and I say, okay, you have this idea. Have you ever been around someone who once they get something in their hands, then they fly with it? It's just a point of getting it in their hands or getting it started or getting the ball rolling. I'm a ball roller. I will get it started and then someone can take it from there. And it's like passing a baton. There you go. That's what I enjoy doing. So in the personal strength strategies are important. The reason they're important is because it helps you to stay laser focused in the midst of whatever comes your way, right? We have strategies. So we have strategies to navigate challenges. We have strategies to navigate even promotions and good things. We have strategies to build capacity. We have strategies to build relationships. So these things do not organically happen. Some things organically happen, don't get me wrong, but what seemed organic could be like a natural proclivity or a natural strength that you have that you don't realize that you have. Like someone who is good at communicating and they just think it's just natural. There are other people that are afraid to get in front of a camera, afraid to communicate. So now you're in a position where you can take your strength and not only demonstrate it through communication, but you can encourage and teach others how to effectively communicate. And then you go and research, since I'm such a great communicator, what are the key things in my life that I demonstrate that I don't even realize that I'm demonstrating, right? So it's like you are competent in this area, but you don't even know that you're competent in the area. So you don't have the words to express who you are. You just know that this is who you are. So that's where that education and training comes in. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about personal strategies and creating a big picture for your life. And that's what's going to help you get up in the morning. That's what helps me get up in the morning. So today I am going to talk about a few things, and I'm going to write out a few things that you can keep in mind when developing a personal strategy. So when you think about personal, let's put personal strategy. This is something that has to do with you and you alone. A strategy, something that pertains to you personally. This is things that you put in place, steps that you take, a plan that you activate and implement so that you can reach what I call, what we're all looking for, fulfillment. This is what we want in life. We want to wake up and our heart is filled with joy, with peace, with contentment, with joy, peace, contentment, expectation. It's like when you wake up and it's like, oh wow, I can not only see that the sun is shining brightly, I have the time, I have the focus to appreciate the sunshine because it's always there, right? But sometimes things in our life clouds us and then we can't enjoy what's available to us. So a personal strategy gets you to a place of fulfillment to where you can enjoy what's in front of you. Now, this reminds me of, have you all ever heard the story where someone, they get to the end of their life and then what is it filled with? Regrets. I wish I've done this. I wish I had done that. I wish I took time for this. I wish, I wish, I wish. And the heart is so heavy because that fulfillment never came because there were a lot of things going on. So a personal strategy helps you to get to that place of fulfillment. Now, when I talk about a personal strategy and a plan, I'm talking about dreams unlocked. Okay? So that's one thing, dreams unlocked. So it's different between having a dream, but when you unlock it, that means you have access, right? You have access to actualize that dream or those dreams. So dreams in and of themselves, they get us excited. But how much more do we get to reach fulfillment when we have strategies in place to utilize what we unlock? Okay, strategies, let me put this here. Strategies give us access to unlock and activate these dreams. Okay, and so personal strategies empower us. They empower us. They empower us to launch out, go through, level up, experience something else. You understand what I'm saying? Because have you ever met someone and you've had, or if you are someone who experienced a job that you've been on for years and you're like, but I always dreamed of being an author. Let's say I always dreamed of being an author. When you step into a strategy or strategies, then it unlocks and it opens up what? Possibilities. When you have possibilities, you are ready to do something. Because before, you were like, it was just a desire. Nah, it's just something I want to do. Or a longing, something that, you know what, I always wanted to do this. Like, for instance, write a book, become an author. When you seek and implement strategies, then it births possibilities. And then after you have these possibilities, options, and things of that nature, now you have to make a decision to what? Implement. Now it's time to implement what possibilities were giving to us. So we sought strategies, and those strategies, whether it's a course, whether it's a program, whether it's a challenge, whether it's back to school, whatever the case may be, it created these possibilities for you. And now you have to implement it. Now, in life, when we're going, what are some things that stop us from implementing these strategies, implementing these possibilities, executing what we've learned? In the event that I host called Personal Strategies Event, I teach and I talk about ways that you can implement and execute and uncover strategies for personal fulfillment. okay? Because we want to get to this right here, fulfillment. The event also begins with you. It begins with you and how you can value yourself on your journey. You are important. You are valuable. You are a treasure. And so, in the personal strategy event, I take a deep dive into the aspects and the dimensions of your brilliance, your treasures, your talents, and your gifts, which will help you live a life. Here we go back to the same thing, fulfillment. This is where we're getting to. Fulfillment is not enough to be successful. It's not enough, seemingly successful, let's just put that, because, and not be, or successful in one area and then have that imbalance in another. Now, what I say when I think about that is, say for instance, this top executive, they like the number one charts, doing it all, living their best corporate life, but at home, their spousal relationship, their relationship with their children is broken and not fulfilling or tension filled. That's not fulfillment. That's not true fulfillment, because you're not balanced and congruent in those things that matter, not only on the outside but on the inside. So with the personal strategy event, we go through some things that will help us to balance life and help us to get to that place of fulfillment, because that's our desire. Okay. And so as we get through implementation and execution, and then we figure out what makes us tick. It's important. I don't care. We all have, sometimes it's like, if I can just get the grit to do X, Y, and Z, or, we always think it's about discipline and it's about this, that, another. I submit to you that sometimes it's not necessarily the discipline portion, the consistency, or the focus, but it's about first embracing our uniqueness. And as we embrace our uniqueness, then we figure out what unique external forces will nurture who I am, that will in turn help me to sustain and maintain whatever outcome I'm looking for. Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. And that is so important. So I say and submit to you again, what if you are not lacking discipline, focus, or consistency per se in and of itself? However, you're lacking that personal element of knowing and embracing and nurturing your brilliance, your gifts and your talents that then spark a consistency, spark a focus, spark an execution, because you're wholly involved in something. WHOLLY. You're completely involved. You don't have to stop being something in order to accomplish. You can be all of you inside that thing you're looking to accomplish. So in this process at the personal strategy event, I am inviting you into the personal strategy event experience. It is an opportunity for you to come into this experience of creating personal strategies that will bring fulfillment to your life. And we all need that. We all desire that. And guess what? Here's the big one. You deserve it. You deserve a fulfilled life. And I want to help you cultivate that, experience it, see it with a new lens. Because sometimes we have on the wrong lens. We got to take off one lens or clean up off our lens and then put on a new and be like, oh, I can see. Oh my goodness, I can see so much now that I didn't see before. And that's what this is all about with the personal strategy event. We get to uncover, unlock, and begin to implement and execute opportunities that will help us live and experience fulfillment, our heart's longings. And it starts with the personal strategy. So in the description, you will see the next personal strategy event. You will also see the personal strategy 5-day challenge. And then you will also see the personal strategy mastermind. I encourage you to jump in all of it because it's a progression, right? One will sink you to the next one. The first one will give you a foundation. The second one will challenge you to implement it, right? With daily strategies that you implement before you meet the next day. And then the third one with the mastermind, it I'll be there to hold as you begin to unlock and uncover those strategies that will help you experience fulfillment. I hope you all enjoyed this live and enjoyed this opportunity to really learn about strategies and really learn about things that can help you live a life of fulfillment. That's what I'm about. Personal strategy. Having a personal strategy is important. And I'm delighted to go on that journey with you. Okay, I'm Michelle LeAnn Obikwelu. I will see you next time here at the Michelle